Hi guys, it's me, Joseph Lemmerson again, and in this video that I will be dedicating to my birthday month in June of 2026, I shall be talking about another movie with my namesake in it, called Joseph Hotman. Now, for those of you who are not in the know, this is a 1996 movie made by it's an MTV movie, and it was based on a short that was on MTV a long time ago. So being that it was on MTV, the movie was had good music involved in it. I can't think of anything offhand right now, but it was pretty good. Nothing by Papa Roach, unfortunately. And this little masterpiece came out in '96, so it was right at the perfect time for my emotional growth. And let me just say that this movie is about to talk about some real gross things, so I'm gonna give you a few seconds to try something else on my channel. I have loads of videos elsewhere, so if you want, you can leave this video right now because it's kind of gross. Come to the thumb. Okay, so now this movie is about this guy named Joe. I forgot his last name offhand, but he's played by Jerry O'Connell, and he goes to New York City, and his apartment is infested with cockroaches. So this movie is very gross to those who hate little bastards. But this movie, it says on the back of the box here, which, by the way, it's a weird type of box. It's not your standard DVD case. Anyway, it says here, should do for roaches what Babe did for pigs. No, it didn't. Not all. Because, first of all, Gordy came about first, before Babe. And then I'm sure Charlotte's Web came before that movie too. In any case, those movies had pigs that were kind of cute, and they were very childlike. And you want to hug them and squeeze them before you make them into ham sandwiches. This movie, on the other hand, the cockroaches, I never met a single person, and I don't think there was ever a single person that existed that wanted to hug and squeeze a cockroach. Wanted to kiss it and love it and all this other stuff and make them into pets. The only exception of that would be Roach Cooch, which in the Powerpuff Girls was actually Roach himself. So, yeah. Now, my mother was grossed out by this movie for obvious reasons, and my aunt, who is an EMT, was also grossed out by this movie too. The woman that can handle like bodily fluids, near-death experiences, puking, vomiting, the whole life. She could handle a few dozen or so thousand cockroaches. And that says something. But me, on the other hand, I could watch this movie right after I eat. Right after I eat Chinese food, per se, like tonight, for example. Whereas if I watch the movie The Fly, I can't watch that movie, especially after eating Chinese food like my dad took me into one time. And thanks a lot, Dad. But I think it has something to do with the fact that I was never uh, in the city long enough for cockroaches to be an issue for me. I would kind of wasn't really properly grown up around them to be grossed out by them. So that's why I'm okay with this kind of thing. Plus the fact that for the most part, the roaches in this movie have high pitched human voices of the character of the people that actually play them, and they're mostly CGI, with possibly a little bit of claymation and a few instances of little bit of footage to show what a bunch of cockroaches will do. Although I have to ask you this, how hard is it to actually train a roach to do much of anything? It can be easy. Not that I want to, but yeah. I don't find this movie be that gross, but I probably would find it very gross and disturbing if they were flying around, because I've always seen them crawling on the ground, crawling on the ceiling, on walls, but I can hear them behind walls and all that stuff. So very creepy, very disturbing. But you can insert that quotation from one of the Star Wars movies that says, "They fly now." Yeah, they fly now, and that'd be really disturbing for me. But also, what's really funny is that when I was growing up, I saw a bunch of old cartoons like from the 60s and 70s and maybe even the 50s, mostly by Tex Avery and so on and so forth. So it's funny that in one shot they actually have the roaches information, takeoff instructions, like bombardier instructions, as you would see in old Tex Avery cartoon about cartoon mosquitoes doing the same thing for a 1 minute raid. So that's kind of funny. That's really kind of enjoying, because I'm sure my parents growing up in New York City probably had to deal with that exact thing when it came to large scale amounts of roach attacks and cats and fleas and all the other happiness and joy. So I could see that they probably wouldn't like this. But the only thing is that my father likes this movie too. He puts gas. Real funny movie, so I don't get it. What would he, who hates the city and he hates everything about it, find enjoyment out of this movie? I'll get to something he said to me once. Let's see here, well, there, but what's funny is that roaches could actually talk to people. And, funny is that these roaches in this movie are funny as all hell, but they're aware that people hate them and they find them really disgusting. Okay, at one point, when the roaches actually talk to some strong men trying to muscle you out of his apartment, I forgot whether Ralph or Rodney Roach. Ralph is done. The voice of Ralph is provided by Billy West, which I think this is like his first foray into PG-13 or R-rated movies and shows and such. I think Futurama came out after this. But anyway, in any case, Ralph is done by Billy West, and Rodney Roach is played by Reginald Hudlin. I don't know if he does anything else, but it'd still be fun. I don't know if this whole thing is like that all roaches have the R letter for the first letter of the name, but it might just be a coincidence for these two. Anyway, I'm very racist toward roaches, and I'm gonna say that every roach looks the same. It should be exterminated ASAP because they keep driving down property values, quite literally. So anyway, they have they have one of the roaches talking to one of these strong guys. Says that Iggy said, your mother's cooking is so terrible, even I won't touch it. So that's very funny because we know that roaches will prevent anything in the world, any garbage, any meatloaf, any whatever. But to see that the roach won't even touch your mother's cooking, that's bad. It's horrible. So anyway, these roaches have soul to them. They act kind of nice and you get to know them. And yeah, I like the movie. So basically, Joe wants to move to New York City from Iowa, I think it was. And we see he wants to go there, and right at the bus terminal, he gets assaulted by 3 people. Not sexually, but they rob him at gunpoint. So my dad says, see what happened in New York City? We did something that my mother used to tell me all the time too. I said, Mom, it's only a movie. Of course, they're gonna make fun of everything. Plus, if I do get robbed, it's not gonna be in the bus terminal for 2 seconds after I get off the bus. And plus, if I get off the bus, I'll have other people with me, so they'll be able to witness whoever tried to rob me. Plus, I would like to see anyone try to rob me with these guns. So anyway, he tried to go there, and he tried to he talks with this guy. This guy is like a performance artist. So he lied down on the sidewalk, pretending to be dead, and he wanted to see how long it would take for people to actually stop and talk to him and recognize his humanity. And it so happened that when Joe talks to him, he says, are you right, sir? All that stuff. So the guy took 2 days. Took me 2 days to get someone to talk to me on the floor, see if I was right. And by the way, spitting doesn't count. So yeah, New Yorkers can be kind of cool and kind of not caring and not they don't give a shit about other people, especially strangers, which is really unfortunate. But what you gonna do, right? Can't all be popular. So anyway, he tries to he invites Joe to have coffee at a local cafe where Joe wants to get an apartment for like I don't know, wait, $100 a month or so. So the guy does the spit take on him. And he announced, "Hey everyone, who wants to rent frozen apartment?" So everyone starts busting the gut. And this is one of the problems with the movie. It's supposed to be set in the Lower East Side, the East Village in New York City. And I hear that that's like supposed to be like a very diverse place, but there aren't too many diverse people in there. There's only a handful of minorities. It's black people, white people, and very few extras in there that are Asian descent. There's no I couldn't see any Indian people, any brown people, any Latin people. So that's one problem with the movie that I find. And also, they have this guy actually does do something about that. He wants to make a new instant minority by dousing people with paint. Yeah, I have no idea what this guy was smoking when he saw that, but he wanted to make everyone an instant minority by covering them in paint, different colors. Joe got painted with the periwinkle. Like purple. So anyway, he said that the only way trying to get rent frozen apartment is to have someone die there, and then you would inherit the apartment for whatever the rent was. So that's what happened. An old lady when a lot of people living in this apartment building ends up croaking right there. But the funny is that she's supposed to be Polish or Russian or something, some kind of Eastern European, and she ends up falling down the stairs of the apartment, and it's like 3 or 4 or 5 flights, so it's quite a bit, and she falls down there like a domino, and she gets up and walks up fine. And then right when she gets outside in front of Joe, and she has a heart attack right there on the spot. So the guy says, "Oh, Mrs. Whatever, you just died, and your son here, Joe, can inherit your apartment." So that the luckiest guy in the world was the most tragic woman in the world that just died right there, and taking all that physical abuse from the case, which will be repeated on when the 2 thugs I mentioned before fall down too in the same way. So anyway, the guy goes to the apartment, and I understand this movie is about roaches, singing and talking roaches and all that, but this woman's apartment is fucking disgusting. It is, I know that roaches don't, they prefer garbage, they prefer messes, they prefer, leftover food and all that. But this woman, her cleaning skills are non-existent. There's mold everywhere, there's underwear everywhere, there's clothes all over the place. Just a filthy mess. How could anyone live like this? Even someone from Hoarders would look like a masterpiece compared to this woman's apartment. I mean, it's like, doesn't she have friends? Doesn't she have family that would say, Pew, this stinks over here, do something about it. But no, I guess not. I guess people don't give a shit. So they do everything in their power to make these roaches everywhere that this guy eats, drinks, sleeps, and whatever. Because this woman was a filthy slob. I mean, I heard that when you get older, when you get past 20s and your 30s, you tend to be a little bit more stringent in what you do for yourself. You tend to be a lot more cleaner, a lot more tidy, a lot more, you care a lot more about your living spaces and stuff, especially if it's on rent, all this stuff. And plus, she said that she had no power, no water, no anything else, no utilities or anything like that. So, that's a bogus lie because we see the toilet working, the sink working, the power working, so that's kind of a little bit of a oversight on the teeth, on the teeth part, because you want to make this place be the most pathetic, filthy spot in the United States. So anyway, they do they have this place with a real big sign. And what does Joe do when he moves in? Makes it 1,000 times worse, if you can believe it. Because he wears that pizza, and it's disgusting. He leaves the pizza there. He leaves all the Chinese food they eat everywhere. He just makes it 1,000 times worse. He doesn't even clean up the old lady's personal belongings, her candles, her underwear. I mean, what the hell are you doing with all the underwear in your drawers? And it's like grossness on top of grossness on top of grossness. Even Dave from before, when you go in that room, it's even worse than the Pixar. No wonder why there are thousands of roaches in the place. Not only thousands, tens of thousands of roaches everywhere. And they got a real attitude problem too. Because they befriend Joe, because they like the way Joe runs things around there. He's like, the ultimate provider. He gives them junk food, all kind of other crap food. And they like it there, for obvious reasons. How can anyone live like that? I have no idea. It harkens back to the Futurama episode with the old, stringent woman there who had the massive crush on Fry, and she said, "Dirty boy, dirty, dirty, dirty." Well, this guy makes Fry look like a clean bean. A clean guy. It's just so gross, so disturbing. I'm surprised there isn't a dead body there. That's how gross it is. I mean, it must smell like a dead horse. A dead, dead wampa. It's a horse. So anyway, see here. So good old Joe's gotta find a job. And, the roaches end up following him everywhere he goes for this job. And it's very gross because he told him not to help him out. They gotta find ways to help him. Go deliver pizzas like Spider-Man. But he's got roach problem because all the roaches and the erupting out of the peaks like a big volcano. And he gets fired from there. He gets fired from a bunch of jobs, including a clown show, including something to do with church, where I would love to see him getting a job as a road clown or at a kid's birthday party or something, and then the little roaches ruining his party and chances for employment in that. I would love to see what would happen if he went to the church job with him. Well, that would be funny. He'd be trying to ring bells in the morning and then see a cascade of roaches falling out of the bell. And the woman could go, "Sanctuary, sanctuary." And that'd be so funny. And they probably would do that because they see like the pop culture references. And speaking of which, one of the producers of this movie with Geffen Company. And the Geffen Company also produced Beetlejuice. So, I like to think that one of the roaches in that movie, one of the roaches that was in Beetlejuice when he transformed into the roach in the movie, cameoed in this movie for something. Anyway, let's just see and you'll see what I'm talking about. So anyway, he ends up calling into this girl Lily, and Lily played by Megan Ward. I don't know if she's related to Fred Ward, the actor, but it'd be funny if it was. Anyway, I always think that whenever I see this movie, I always think that Lily, the actress, looks a lot like Princess Diana. You can kind of see it from this picture of her in the front cover. Anyway, he passed her by on a city bus once, and she said she liked gardening. So, on one of his job interviews, he goes to talk about, he goes into an interview from this guy who, is really funny, but, he is David Hilton, the Big Lebowski, what I know him first, Santa Claus. So anyway, he talked to him, and he's like, "I'm from Iowa," and he did the ribbit voice from the mascots. And he said, "Do your mother still walk with a 6-foot walk? And does she ever have the twinkle in her eye, that little sexy look to her?" And he doing this interview and he trying to see if his mom's so hot. Because I guess they were way back when. So he said, "Did your mother ever give you a sponge bath?" I'm like, "No, wait, that's, I roll along with that, you know. If a future employer talking that's sexy about my mother, I wouldn't take that job, no matter what it is." But this guy was into urinal cakes, and he said that a million men piss on my name every day. I thought it was really funny. And then later on, the woman from Miss Doubtfire comes in and takes over his business. She says, these trickle down economics are over. I thought it was very funny. I pissed my pants when I heard that. So anyway, this guy gives Joe a job, and he gets all the girl kicked out of Yankee Steam of all places. I have no idea how many urinal kicks are, but if you're gonna send somebody over there, you gotta have more than one person doing the entire thing. There's something like over 1,000 toilets and urinals in there. So I would think that you would need a small army of people to take care of it, especially in one day. So then he had to collect those, I guess, for research purposes, and he takes them back home. And he also had to find out about Livy, and that weird artist guy is involved with a band, and the band name is Shit. Really, it's SHIT, Shit, and he's over there advertising for this band because he did a drummer in it. He's over there painting, putting paste on the wall and posting shit all over the place. So it's really funny in that that's the name of the band. But the funny is that I don't know if any public space would actually be allowed to put that name on there, especially repeat over and over and over again. I mean, sure, she's literally doing the same thing, but on the opposite side, for like a public garden that she wants to do. So anyway, he ends up he needs help with getting more fertilizer for her garden, and the roof just said to him that, funny thing about Shit Joe, good things tend to grow out of it. We have a Chinese fortune teller for her that gives all kind of general advice here. So anyway, he ends up going around town collecting up animal feces from horses, from circus elephants, from dogs, and the funny is that this guy is actually fighting Joe on who gets to pick up the dog shit, his own dog shit. However, if I were that guy, I'd be like, you want to take my dog shit? Go right ahead, take it, it's yours. I don't know why this guy is really fighting Joe on the possession of dog crap. I mean, it's like, I want it, no, you want it, no, I want it, no, I want it. It's my dog, I pick up the shit, it's mine. I mean, you're going through it anyway, so why not give it to this guy one? You really want your shit. So anyways, he takes the shit from the guy and puts it in a bag, and then the bag eventually grows into a rare African flower or something, and then he presents it to Lily as a gift. By the way, Lily is working in the, I guess, the emergency call center, and that's what she tells them, that your apartment doesn't have any power, water, or whatever, etc., etc., etc. And she does the fake typing thing that you see in some movies. Not like in the show, Ghost in the Shell. But anyway, her best friend, who also works for the same company or organization, is played by Peppa, which I didn't know who Peppa was. I just found her out about it in the IDB, MBU something, the Internet Database for movies, the Internet Movie Database, IMDb. So, I think they make some salt and pepper. I don't know. But it's funny now that I think of it. So anyway, they have this thing in which he's trying to get in with Lily, and then they go on a date with each other, and she goes to see him perform in the shit. And the music is like pretty good in this, but everybody hates shit. Everybody gives shit. I don't think they were that bad. And also, the guy the lead singer in shit really remind me of Poindexter from the movie Revenge of the Nerds. It's actually real funny. And Joe can't play drums with shit either. He does a whack, just bam, 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 bam. He can play with shit. I could do better job with drumming. And let's see here. Lily goes with it with her friend Peppa. Sounds right, doing with Tender Blood, wherever it was. So then to go back home to his apartment. Now, I'm not an expert on it. I'm relations training, obviously. Now, obviously, I'm not the cleanest person in the world. What to live with, to work with, to do whatever with. But, what is this guy thinking? It plays the Pixar, you got underwear everywhere, you got clothes everywhere, you got broken TVs, you got in every place on the sun, you got that and the other thing there. Why would a woman, especially a beautiful higher class woman, want to come to this Pixar? I mean, my room isn't the cleanest room in the world, but mine's a goddamn palace compared to where he has. Jesus Christ, his walls are brown, his toilets are filthy, every nook and cranny of that place is a filthy brown mess. I mean, the rug's probably got more than rugs in it, and it's horrible. And those two guys that want to evict out of the apartment also come after him and stuff. They even had a thing with the roaches coming and defending Joe because they like the way he ran things and stuff. So that's where they got the that think about your mama cooking so bad and all this other junk. So anyway, they also did something where they had the roaches actually coming out of the guy's gun. We call it a roach clip. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's a roach clip. I know it has something to do with guns, and that's pretty funny. That the gun doesn't work because there was a bug in there. Maybe a computer bug. But whatever. That's something to look it up. With like a $1 million question on one's made here. So anyway, it's really funny that these big tough thug guys, which well actually look like Dave Chappelle, is actually really afraid of bugs. I have no idea why they're so afraid of bugs, but they're afraid of a little army of insects. Even though they're like the size of humans, and bugs are like the size of insects. So anyway, it scared the thugs at first of doing like a funny bit like Jim Carrey did in the movie The Mask, where he said like, "Oh, kill me, kill me," you know, like that thing, but in road form. So anyway, they did do that, and it's very funny. But in any case, it says either in the first conversation or the second one, that you miss me and kiss me, asshole. That's so funny. What's even more funny is that they have a thing where they have like it's like a weird roach channel on TV, as well as sex movies on TV that is designed for roaches, and really hilarious. It's very adorable and really gross at the same time. And one thing I find really interesting is that there's like a roach talk show with Charlie Rose as the host, and they have like a debate between a squirrel, a rat, and a pigeon. 3 pests in New York City. But the thing is that they like have like a conference type thing, like can't we all just get along type thing. And it's very funny, like a reference to Mars Attacks, which is really funny, and I find it's kind of interesting is that how would 3 pest species, converse with each other? Would they want war with each other, for territory, for food, resources, and whatnot? Or is there a way that they can make a peace between 2 people? I mean, 4 different species in any city. Now, back when I was talking about the food being everywhere, they actually make reference to roaches with Chinese accents. Now, I know that this is wrong and racist and all that stuff, but I'm just curious. Are roaches different in different parts of the world? Are they like do they have different species to them, or are they the same roaches that we see in America here? I'm not trying to be any ignorant person here. I really want to know if a roach is the same around the world, or they different species, different marking on them and whatnot. So anyway, yeah, that was a little sidetrack. But anyway, well, on to Joe's little date with Lizzie, and there's also a part where they have the thugs come in. They end up going with the roaches, and they end up there was a cat problem in it too. And so Joe took care of the cat. And the cat actually chased the roaches and eat them, I guess. Gross. But whatever. So, yeah, they have a part where they have, the roaches spying on Joe, even though they said they wouldn't do it. They give him a nice meaty treat to make sure that they don't go near him or Lily whenever they do. So, while Joe's playing like shit for shit, they end up playing the musical number. And this is fucking gross, but it's very charming and very lovable. The funky towel thing. And when they play a funky towel, it's very much on the same level, that it's, no one ever speaks of it again. You take this as well as the party end, and you can take it out of the movie and it won't make a big difference. So anyway, they do this thing where they do like a coordinated swimming into the bowl, and it's really funny, especially because he said that I have a towel you can borrow. Come on to my apartment. So yeah, it's covered in roaches and part of the fish too. So anyway, they end up spying on Joe and Lily, and then the whole big cascade of roaches right into their onto both of them sitting on the couch. So that's really disgusting. I'm sure even I would get freaked out by that. So she understandably runs away, and then Joe goes into full Rambo mode, takes off his shirt, has a bandolier, or two bandoliers of roach hotels, and he's whipping them up, like playing cards. And it's very funny. And he takes a big smoke bomb grenade. He takes a big smoke bomb grenade and just chucks it out at them. And it's very funny because they're like, "Oh God, save my babies!" And you see the little cartoon eggs of this mama roach over there, and that's the cartoon kind of place in this movie. But anyway, they had this, and then they had the roaches actually fight back against Joe. And what's really funny is that, and they do that, he launches Bone Sophie onto the floorboard with the smoke grenade, and it launches out the window. And then they end up knocking Joe out, and they even take time to actually dress him up in tuxedo, and he put him down on the ground like a global travel type of thing. And what's really funny is that I remember when he gets time to get dressed and whatever, and it's really quite funny that they're like, we took a big risk by talking to Joe and by taking a film behind the wall and that kind of thing. So we have two things: you buy, and we're sorry we ruined life. Which is really funny because you think that these would do this their own stuff without actually being remorseful, because it's in their nature to be horrible little bastards. Next minute. So, from round 2 of the thugs coming right at the moment where Lily ends up running away and Joey left on the floor cut up. And they're like, they're about to spray him with a rose spray like he would do to them. And he said, please don't kill me. Let your final words. Ready, aim. And then the thugs come in with flamethrowers. And it's really funny that it ended up handed to Joe in the same way that they were being destroyed at first too. So anyway, Joe ends up escaping the apartment and getting burned to the ground. Lily ends up saying, that I don't want to help this place out. This place is a dump. I remember that before, and she found out about the place that she could with Pepper, and she sees the 2 kids playing on the ground, and they said, look, we made a crack house, and it's all dirty needles and stuff, so it's kind of funny, in a grim way. So anyway, in round one versus thugs, they show the roaches knocking them down like they did with the old lady at first. And these thugs actually do take out the other tenant in the apartment building, because they hang her out to dry. Right behind goes back. And when he turned to look, he already dropped it down. To which I wonder why he didn't go investigate the body if he heard a big thud. But anyway, Lily's like, this place is a dump. I'm gonna let my father turn it into a prison that he wanted to do. Now this is kind of funny because like all big and tough, we're gonna make it into a supermax prison, all that. So, but what's really funny about this guy is he's played by, I can't think of his name offhand. Anyway, when you like all tough and businessman and that kind of thing, a big senator too, but under his shirt and tie and jacket and all that, he's got a nice little red bustier, like a woman's lingerie. And then in one of the movies, he's got a spike bracelet on, aka like you would see from a cop chick. So yeah, he's big kinky. Let me just look up his who plays him. Now it's bothering at me now. It's roasting me. Robert Vaughn. I think he might be like Vince Vaughn's father or something. Anyway, that's very funny. So, then they show Lily being hung up about this, and to thug them the torching the place and making this entire lot available for demolition and making this a max prison because there's only one building in this whole lot that is just standing for some reason. And so that happens. Now for some reason, I have no idea why, the roaches, Rodney and Ralph, actually take Pete and Joe, and they say, that when Joe needs us the most, we try to mush him out. We will know better, we actually know better than human beings. That's like real funny. Really funny. And they perpetuate the myth that if a bomb were to go off, or a weapon of mass destruction were to go off, those two would be the only ones standing left. So I don't think that's true anymore. But they said that we're gonna be here till way past humans die off. We're gonna be on a lot of Daisy, on a lot of rotting human corpse. I find that very funny to say that we'll be here after you're gone. So anyway, for some reason they take Pete on this guy. 5 minutes ago they wanted to kill him, they wanted to exterminate him because they can't have someone with knowledge that roaches actually can talk and they can talk to people. They can't let that get out and might ruin the image of being filled with disgusting creatures. So anyway, they showed that they take Pete on this poor guy. They want to help him out. And they try to help him out with getting Elaine back and getting him back with Lily. To which Ralph says, I told him I would help him out, but I never said anything about him being Santa Claus. Me being Santa Claus meaning that it would need a miracle to get her back. So they end up pulling some strings and do a claymation with the library books and with the library accounts and all that, and key cards and all that. And you see pulling out like books and shelving units and all that to try to help them out, because I'm sure that they got like a network of roaches from one building to the other building to the next island to wherever, all in New York City. So they go to the council records, they get the deed to the entire proper lot, and they end up giving Joe, who then gives to Lily as like a gift to her. And it's really funny that he flips it down the toilet to get to him in time. But the thing is made of paper. So by the time that it gets to him from the toilet and the sewer system, it will be mush. Painting will be illegible. But for some reason it can make it through fine. So he ended up playing sewer surfing. So it's really funny to hear that it brings joy to my black heart to hear that. And let's see here. I'll do the thing where they have the roaches end up repopulating the entire area with flowers and bushes and trees and shrubs and all that good stuff. Even build the goddamn gazebo out wood. I don't know where they get the time for that, but they do. And they fertilize the entire area. Get Lily to that way. And I'll think about the they show you do claymation with a parade of flowers. They steal flowers from local flower shops, which I'm sure that they probably cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get all those things over there. So they march them all the way down to the lot and they make it into beautiful garden, to which whenever you buy flowers from a shop like that, it's usually cut at the stem so that they can't actually grow in the ground setting. So that's kind of a waste, but it's a movie. Yes, it's right. So anyway, you show Lily go over there with her father, and I could swear to God it's the same dress that she goes on a date with Joe on. By the way, she has nice legs. I will admit that she has nice legs for a white chick. So anyway, this show, they show her seeing the bugs on the ground saying, spell out the words. Joe hearts you, which I would imagine that to do that with live roaches, that'd be hard to do. But because we got CGI, you can do it with no problem. So anyway, they did do that. And then show a whole mound of roaches fall behind her. And then you show Joe emerging from this mound of roaches. Like, okay, that's not good at all. Good. Okay. Besides being covered in roaches, which in itself is really disgusting, but wouldn't a person covered in roaches have other disgusting matter on them from the roach legs? Like, I don't know, dirt or feces or some other bodily fluid or something. So apparently Joe's fine from all this. It's still kind of roughed up from the night before from getting almost burned alive and beaten up and all that. It's a mess and everything. So, then they show, then making out and giving the public to her. And then the pause saying, Lily, you're right. This place is much better. It's much better now. Yeah, but it serves a better purpose as a garden, as a community garden than 1,000 prisons. They even got the big urinal cake from that guy's company, P.I. Smith. They rolled over the giant urinal cake from there and put it in the pond in the middle of the thing. So when you look at me, Central Park, which I have no idea if the urinal cakes are meant to do that or if they're meant to piss on. But that's different too. Also, we got the guy who's like in charge of telling us to thugs, I want him out of here, I want him dead and all this stuff. He's over there saying that I want her dead, I want the kid dead, I want the old man dead too. He played by, I think, Alfonso Ho. And, they're like, hey, the roaches are like, hey, shirt. And then they look down and then you see they're all covered in roaches, you know, an inch deep to the feet. And then the roaches all clear out. And then the three guys end up falling down into a manhole. And flush out the corner of them, I guess. Now, they do a CGI effect where they do, the opening mouth and stretching the mouth to fall like the old Warner Bros. Cartoon. But wait, this movie was made by Warner Bros. too. So anyway, they do that, and I have to ask this question. Can a bunch of roaches actually prevent three human men from falling down a hole? I don't think so. I think they did that to effect. And again, they have a bunch of brutish men, like a mafia guy and henchman, afraid to death of roaches. So that's kind of funny, actually. I noticed that of the two men, one guy's a black guy, one guy's a white guy, and they both have the same tattoo on the back of their heads, on the back of their heads. So, the black guy had like a sun in the back of his head, like, not colored in, but then the white guy had the same sun on the back of his head, but that one is colored in black. I don't know if that trying to tell us anything, but that I just find it kind of interesting. And when they fall down and all that. So, feeling sorry for him, Lily and giving Joe a new home to live at her apartment. So while they're taking a bath, like doing this, taking a bath and stuff, then Ralph comes into the bathtub on a little toy boat, saying, here's what you do. You go over there and tell me, fuck you to you puke. Which is the reference to something from my part when I wrote a second network shows that they have on there. Where wrote lingerie and such. So, right before he's about to kill Ralph, he said, hey, we best ask for you, get you this place. Show a little appreciation for it. So he does. He said, thank you very much for your help. So he said, we're gonna like it here. So as he has a roll in the hay with Miss Lily, they end up singing another song where they do like a Jesus revival type song, in which Reverend Roach ends up touching a roach on the head, which crushes, and then he gets healed. They become a super roach, a regular roach again. I find that kind of funny. But they make the girl make them into like pews, and then a choir, and then purple again. And it's so funny. It's gross, but it's funny. And then as they're rolling around in love positions, the roaches are all over their bodies, and they're like gross. But it's a close tour. That's good. You'll get a little bit of a plus one million So it says you're fighting kangaroos. Could describe this entire movie as kangaroos, but kind of funny at the same time. It's much more PG than, let's say, Fly or Tusk. Because there's no body horror with it. But just that doesn't matter of being covered in insects, and that there are always insects watching you and always making a nuisance of themselves. Is what gets under people's skin quite a lot. This movie is really funny, but really disturbing as well. I recommend it. I do see it sometimes on YouTube free, so if you see it on YouTube, I recommend it for a good watch. It's very twisted and funny at the same time. The singing is hilarious. Funky Towel is funny. And when you do rodeo song with the cat, it's really hilarious. And they do a little cowboy dance too, and square dance. It's just so funny and so ridiculous in some of the situations. It's more or less like the Scream or any type of movie like Group Mouse Detective, where they put like a human, like where they put mice version of things in the human world. Yeah, it's kind of like that. They put the roach version of cowboys, to survivals, etc. in this type of thing. And funny, even Lily said they're kind of sweet, and he really liked you, which for any other animal or creature, I would think that is a compliment. But when you think of a lonely roach, to say that they were like you, that's unclean and very disturbing. So yeah, you're not gonna like this movie if you don't like roaches, if you really don't like unclean humor. But otherwise, it's pretty fun. Fun for the rest of us. So yeah, I thank you for watching my little review of this movie, Joe's Apartment. Or you think about doing this one first, or Joe Dirt. Because I did these sequence already, but my hard drive got destroyed. So I decided to do Joe Dirt first because it was alphabetical order. Being Joe came for Joe's, so I figured I did that. But I told a girl, have you ever seen Joe's Apartment? So she thought it might have been like coming off of being fresh or something. Like, hey baby, come to my apartment. And then I said, no, it's an MTV movie. Oh yeah, that movie, okay. So this movie is really funny, but very twisted. Just the way I like it. And I did this from my birthday month. Joe's Apartment in June 2026. And as you can imagine, I give this movie a happy face, silver pool, because it's very, very disgusting to talk about roaches in such a light way, but it's still pretty and funny. They do a good job with it. And they also do sex, bugs, and rock and roll. And I could definitely see that happening with this movie because it's full of bugs, lots of sex, both human and roach kind, and there's lots of rock and roll because MTV or original music, I should say, too. So yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. And if you like what you see here, you want to see more of my channel and such, you can like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And let's see here. If you like what you see here, if you want any more information on my previous videos, contact me by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. Or if you want, you can always follow me on Twitter or X at PNelsonPro. Or you can always get my email at jjviewchannel@gmail.com. So remember, guys, I slew all the offbeat comedies you can throw at me. I love this movie to pieces, even though my parents don't like it, and my aunt doesn't like it, and my family members probably won't like it either. More high class people, and people who had run-ins with the bad hombre roaches in the past, they probably won't like it either. And let's see, yeah. They also put the thing about like they do the singing roaches at the end, and at the beginning too, where they have the one roach on the Statue of Liberty torch, which is always fun. I don't know exactly where cockroaches from in America, if they were over here or if they came from somewhere else. Well, I know that there are a lot of white cockroaches that came over here around the time of Columbus. So I don't know if that was a reference to that. Give me your tire, your poor, your cockroaches. But then they also say later in the movie, please be my bug. As in, be my sweetheart. So peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in internet land. See ya, sayonara, and ciao ciao.